Hey everybody, welcome back to another fantastic Pitching Ninja show. As always, I am Pitching Ninja, and I'm here with Will Leahy. How are you doing, Will?
Ninja, I'm fantastic, man. We had a spectacular week of baseball, anchored by the Field of Dreams game, which, you know, obviously they were using juiced balls. It wasn't exactly the pitching duel that you and I might have wanted, but people seem to enjoy it for some reason. This week had some of the most outstanding pitching performances of the entire year, starting with Corbin Burnes' 15 strikeout, 0-walk game where he tied the record for striking out 10 in a row. What'd you think there, Ninja?
I mean, it was one of the better games you'll ever see pitched. I mean, it doesn't surprise me coming from Corbin Burnes because he's absolutely filthy. But yeah, when he has everything working, he's tough to hit. And, you know, the Cubs lineup, granted, they've given away a bunch of, or traded away a bunch of players, so it's a little bit weaker. But, you know, these are still major league dudes with bats, and they're trying to do damage, and he just ran through them like a hot knife through butter.
Only the third guy ever to strike out 10 consecutive batters. The second one was Aaron Nola earlier this year, but before that it was, you know, the unbreakable Tom Seaver record from, what was it? What year was it?
70? 1970, I think.
Yeah, so incredible stuff there. And Burnes has been, you know, now he's making this charge for the Cy Young award, but, you know, he started off the season with the strikeouts to no walks record. He's just doing all sorts of crazy things. Friend of the program. We're gonna get him on here sometime soon. But yeah, awesome to see that pitching staff. The whole thing from the top to the bottom is pretty remarkable.
They are really good and somehow underrated. Like, I think that people don't pay as much attention to them for some reason, but that pitching staff is filthy. Like, you don't want to face any of those guys. And then out of the bullpen with, I mean, you have Hader and Devin Williams. I mean, what are you going to do with that? Like, it's just nasty.
We also had Tyler Gilbert make his first career start, and guess what? He threw a no-hitter, Ninja. This is, I mean, you can't do any better than this. I mean, I guess a perfect game. Reminded me of Juan Marichal. Believe in 1960 was his debut. He threw a one-hit complete game shutout. Not a no-hitter, though. What'd you think of this performance, Ninja?
I thought it was great. And going back to the father and son thing, I mean, you're talking about a dude who worked for his dad as an electrician. His dad's at the game. You can tell, like, again, it's one of those things, as a dad, every father would be going crazy watching their kid do, you know, a pitch like that. It's like a miracle. You can write a movie on that outing, and it would be a kind of a corny movie because you wouldn't write that if you were writing it as a fiction thing. But as just the truth, it would be a really good story. And I think it tied, interestingly, into the Field of Dreams thing. So this was Father-Son Week in baseball, and, you know, what's better than that?
He's the fourth ever to throw a no-hitter in his debut, but the last couple were a while back. The first one was Ted Breitenstein in 1891, then we had Bumpus Jones in 1892, and of course Bobo Holloman in 1953. So he's not the first ever, but the first in a while, Ninja.
3 times. Center field. Marte! Yeah! It's a no-hitter! Tyler Gilbert has thrown a no-hitter in his first career Major League start.
So just a couple more pitching performance shout-outs here.
Keep throwing them at me,
same,
man. All the pitchers.
The same night as Burnes, we had a throwback Adam Wainwright performance where he threw a 2-hit complete game shutout, no walks. He actually had 2 RBIs, a DeGrom, if you will. Just another spectacular pitching performance this week.
So kind of a DeGrom and Maddox combined. Like, it's a little bit of combo there. He doesn't seem to age. His stuff is nasty. Like, I've enjoyed watching him this year. He's fun to watch. Seems like a really good dude, and you have to root for him. And it's so cool to see somebody at, like, what is he, 55, 60, to be able to throw that well is insane.
Speaking of ageless wonders, Mad Max now on the Dodgers with another quality start. Sunday night, gave up 2 runs in 6 innings. He had an RBI his first of the year. It still has no hits, just a putrid hitter, Max is. But hey, got an RBI.
Though, hold on here. Like, Max takes a lot of pride in his hitting, and other years he has been a good hitter. Like, he can hit. This isn't like a dude who can't swing the bat. He can hit. He's just on a bad streak. Max is an athlete, and I think it's an anomaly versus like somebody who just can't swing it. I mean, you saw the ball yesterday, he tagged it. Like, he hit that hard to get to drive in the run on the sac fly. I love the fact that whole not like don't touch me during the game was fantastic. Like, Dave Roberts didn't realize that Max just doesn't like being touched all that much.
Well, you have a little experience in that department, don't you, Ninja?
I do. And like, so literally since the All-Star game, I have been thinking about this and like, man, did I do something wrong? Like, usually if I'm, do a handshake and you do a little bit of bro hug, if somebody comes up to you and they seem really, he seemed into it. So I do this handshake and I'm like ready, like, hey, bro hug. No, he totally stiffed me and almost tripped going backwards. He was getting away so fast. Like, he did not want a piece of that. But Max doesn't like being touched. I didn't know that. And if, he doesn't want a bro hug, that's his prerogative. Could have just warned like, hey, no hugs or something.
Well, I love if you're willing to be on a brand new team, the champions, and tell your coach to don't effing touch me. Immediately, you know the guy's got some stones, and it doesn't shock me that he shafted you on the bro hug. Last shout out to pitchers. Long dong of the week last week, I gave Albert Pujols, and you pointed out Detmers had handled it well. He's a fresh young pitcher. He's got a bright future ahead of him. And sure enough, he got his first win this week in a great performance. Only, I think, giving up 1 run in 6 innings. Detmer bouncing back after you called him out, and he stood up to it.
Yeah, I gotta say, I kind of called that because I think they did the right thing, which is, you know what? You're not going to win the previous game, so try different things. You know what? We have nothing to lose. We're losing the game. If you pull him, maybe his confidence goes down. Instead, you say, hey, this is for learning. Go out there and do it. And what does he do the next outing? Much, much sharper. Curveball is one of the best curveballs you'll ever see. Like, there's something about a lefty curveball for one, but his is top notch, like, Kershaw's Zito type thing. He, again, had my prettiest pitch in college last year, which was a curveball. And he is, I think he's got a huge future in front of him. And you combine him with like Ohtani, those are potentially 2 nasty pitchers. I mean, Shohei's been tearing it up on the mound.
So now the runner-up long dong of the week goes to Lars Nootbaar for this 450-yard blast. Just hits it right back to Scandinavia. He might have made the list partially because of his name, but 450 is no joke. He absolutely crunches this ball.
Have you ever had a Nootbaar? It's really it's a delicacy. Like, they have it in certain countries where...
This is real?
No.
Which brings us to the long dong of the week, to DJ Peters. Smashes this ball 460. Absolutely brutalized by disc jockey Peters. The Rangers just picked up this rookie, and he's already hitting full-blown smoke bombs. What do you think, Ninja?
I mean, that's awesome to see. Not really. I don't really care about home runs. Well, give me some Shohei stuff. Like, you want to talk about Shohei hitting another home run just because he's got that pitcher aspect to him? But yeah, I'm out.
And now, PitchingNinja's Top 10 Filthiest Pitchers of the Week.
At number 10, Chris Sale, welcome back. I have missed tweeting Chris Sale's slider, and he had a number of good ones. It was fun to see him back on the bump, and dude is absolutely filthy.
This was awesome. I intentionally left it out of my intro because I kind of got fan shamed last week by you, Ninja. But Sale was dealing. He gave up those 2 pesky little garbage home runs, but he was awesome.
At number 9, Sandy Alcantara's 94-mile-an-hour changeup. Look at this. I mean, he had back-to-back. It's like a 93 and 94-mile-an-hour changeups. Absolute filth. Something that just shouldn't be allowed. I mean, it's above a major league average fastball, and it's a changeup that moves like that. But he also had a 101-mile-an-hour sinker. So, he's nasty. And underrated, too. At number 8, Jonathan Loaizaga, a.k.a. Johnny Lasagna, or Johnny Pasta, 99-mile-an-hour sinker. This is complete filth. And I know there was an argument on my Twitter account whether this is a strike or not, but on the Pitching Ninja zone, it's definitely a strike. So it gets the number 8 spot, and it is nasty.
The Pitching Ninja K zone, where every pitch is a strike.
At number 7, Tristan McKenzie's curveballs. I mean, look at these. They're so pretty. And coming out of a guy that weighs about 50 pounds to dominate a lineup like that in the major leagues, throwing he had a perfect game deep into the game and had 11 Ks, like nasty stuff. And it's fun to watch him pitch. Like, dude pitches with a lot of emotion. He's one of those guys that you just want to see be successful. At number 6, Michael Kopech's ridiculous slider. This is from the Field of Dreams game, and this is complete and utter disgusting filth. I mean, that combined with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, I don't know how anybody hits this guy. Like, talk about having a future ahead of you. When he's on, he's about as dominant as there is. At number 5, Devin Williams airbenders. Devin Williams gets a lot of mentions on this top 10 filthiest pitches countdown because he is disgusting. And his airbender is legit, maybe the best pitch in baseball. You know, Corbin Burnes' cutter is way up there, but obviously Devin Williams' airbender is nasty, and he's got 6 swings and misses in a row on his airbender. The last one I think was 3,067 RPMs, which is a really good curveball or slider spin rate. As far as changeups are usually, as we know, a lower spin rate pitch, and this is over 3,000 RPMs. Just complete disgusting stuff from Devin. At number 4, Blake Trinan absolutely dismembering. He didn't dismember him. He didn't. Harper still has his limbs. Dismantling Bryce Harper with this just totally wicked slider, unhittable. I overlaid it with Trinan's four-seam fastball, and you can see why Harper would swing at this. It looked like a meatball coming up there and then just dives out of the zone. Harper almost fell down swinging at this. It is a really, really nasty pitch. At number 3, Corbin Burnes, just everything. Like, you cannot pitch better than Corbin Burnes pitched. At 15 Ks, including 10 consecutive Ks, tying the record as we discussed earlier, had no walks in the game. I think he had like 67 pitches for his first 12 Ks. Just unheard of filth by Corbin Burnes. At number 2, Aaron Bummer's ridiculous slider. I mean, check this out. You have people ducking out of the box away from it. Just total mean stuff by Aaron Bummer. And I got to say, it would be a bummer to face him as a hitter. And at number 1, this may be the prettiest pitch of all time. Luis Castillo's 100-mile-an-hour sinker, absolutely dotted. You cannot throw a pitch better than this. 18 inches of arm side run, right in the corner of the K zone. Beautiful to watch. There's something about seeing 100 on the screen. There's something about seeing a ball placed absolutely perfectly in the corner, and this has both of them with a ton of movement. Castillo also had something like a sinker that ran 24 inches this game. He was on. He did not get the win, but his stuff, when he's on, is as good as anybody in baseball. What did you think of the Field of Dreams game, Will?
It was pretty awesome. You know, I was a little skeptical going in. I'm just like, you know, what, Field of Dreams is what, the 9th best baseball movie? You know, so I don't have any real.
Oh, are we gonna do that?
9th at best, maybe. No, I don't know. It's not. I don't think
willing to debate you on this. Well, let's go through the game first.
Hold on. Let's hear Pitching Ninja's thoughts. Is this one of the best baseball movies ever made, Ninja?
So I think it depends on how you look at it. If you look at it as purely a baseball movie, maybe not. If you look at it as a father-son movie and a passing down the game movie and a little bit of history and surrealness, I think it's extremely good. Like, anybody that has any dad that has a kid that plays, or kid that's close to his dad and has played, understands that. It's like, it's a relationship movie about a father and son. It's not really a baseball movie per se, but it is. Like, I think, so talking about the game and weaving it back in, I know there were some comments saying, well, is this really the way you grow the game with the younger generation? Because this is an older movie and do kids really relate to it? And I think the answer is, yeah, they do, in the way that, having gone with taking teams to Cooperstown as like 10 and 12-year-olds, kids loved it. They loved the history of the game. They loved stuff like, they loved playing on these old-timey fields and stuff like that. I think that is a way to grow the game. And I think you're underestimating kids' love for the history of the game and the attachment of the game through that history, and just assuming that no, kids have short attention spans, they want it like a video game. Well, some do, yeah, sure, but others will understand this is a different field. It's kind of a cool concept. Maybe they'll go back and watch the movie, and maybe dads will watch it with their kids. Like, so I watched the Field of Dreams game with my kid and my dad in Florida. We were on vacation, and we're all watched the game, and everybody loved it. And the next day, Jack and I went out and threw the ball. So it's like, I do think I think it's a great movie in that respect. You know, but I also love Major League and Sandlot. So it's, you know, anytime Major League's on any scene in that movie, you got to watch it, right? Like, that movie's just
and 2. Major League 2 is also
I know
also great. Major League 3 not so great, but yeah, the first 2 Major Leagues are incredible. I also love Chet Steadman in Rookie of the Year.
One of the best Salisbury steaks I've ever had in my life. You want some?
Sure.
Gary Busey, shout out. But yeah, the game though, you know, it was. Like I said, I was a skeptic going in, watching it. It just was very enjoyable. You know, the production value, for whatever reason, it was cool to watch. You know, fans did like it too. I think I saw most watched regular season game in the last 16 years. So, wow, doing something right.
Yeah, I ran a poll on my Twitter page, and it had like 94% of people thought the game was great. Or liked the game, and like 6% said no, blah. But I don't think on my own Twitter page, if I said, do you like Pitching Ninja, I could get 94% of people to agree with that. So like, to have 94% of people say that they liked it, I thought that says a lot. And watching, yeah, it was cool. I thought they did a great job, and I don't know if you want that much more of it, because it's almost like eating chocolate for every meal. Like, you can only do it as a one-time thing. I wouldn't mind seeing him play on a field like Sandlot, or someone mentioned the backyard baseball fields, which would be kind of sick. But you know, I think it's a good idea every once in a while to do something like that and to just change it up. I thought they did a really good job. So it's been another great week of pitching and some hitting too. Don't you think, Will?
Just the Field of Dreams game. Other than that, it was a pitching dominant week, I'd say.
Well, and it's been a great week. Until next time, I'm going to K-strut on out of here. Keep throwing flames.
Strike 3!